Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Controllers and Coffee. My name is Elliot Porter, and the one making all the noise in the background there next to me is Kat Gerritsen.
As
Welcome,
always.
episode 48. Can you believe it?
Wow.
How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm great. It's incredible weather here. I went to the beach. I'm feeling good. I'm dying of heat stroke in this room, but you know what? It's the price we pay for great content. How about yourself?
I mean, it's the opposite here. It's very rainy. It was really muggy this morning, but not anymore. It's just still very wet though. So I do have a little blanket on.
Little blankie?
Little
Little
blankie. Well, that's
Very
nice. That's nice.
That's nice. Well, we've been playing lots of video games as usual.
Yeah.
And today is a good week to talk about everything as we continue to close in on the end of the year. It's not slowing down, and there's a lot of games that we haven't played, so we're going to talk about them today and talk about the ones we want to try and finish before the end of the year. But before we get cracking, I just want to let you all know about our subscription to the audio version of the podcast. If you head over to anchor.fm/controllersandcoffee/subscribe, or if you go onto Anchor or Spotify, you can subscribe to the channel, and for a low monthly price of just $3 Australian dues, you can get the audio version of the podcast one day early. So we've ramped it up since last week, and we'll be doing a monthly exclusive show for you as well. Just for, to say thanks for your support to help us make this show even better. But if you don't want to pay, to listen to us, that's fine as well. We love all of your support, and we appreciate every single one of you.
We just love the vibes.
Welcome to the live viewers. We got Lost, we got Yeti, we got Laz. Thanks for joining us, everybody. It's going to be a great, fun episode. I've been playing some games. Kat, have you been playing some games? Because I want to hear about said games.
I have been playing games. I have been playing, always Dark Souls, but I've been playing one other game.
Oh yeah,
one other game.
What
about you? Have you been playing?
I've finished 2 games.
Oh my gosh!
Two little indies.
Wow.
And I have started playing a banger. I started playing a big release from this year, Life is Strange: True Colors. I know Laz in the chat is probably going to give me shit for doing so because he's like, what are you doing? This is a shit game.
Wow, rude.
Yeah, but I want to talk about that in a minute because that's gonna go well into our conversation about our backlogs and stuff like that.
Yes,
but,
of course.
If I may, I want to start with a little game called Before Your Eyes, which is very interesting.
Yes,
so
please do.
I played a game on Steam. Holy moly!
Oh my god! How did you do this?
Sorry, I still haven't got a PC. I haven't joined the master race yet, but I played it on the Mac because it's available on Mac. And look, I've heard some really, really good things about this game. It's got a very interesting premise, and it costs like $10 Australian. So it's like 33% off at the moment. So
$10.15.
So this little game I finished in one sitting. It's about probably an hour and a half long.
Oh,
and at the start of the game, you're dead. You wake up and you're kind of on this boat in the afterlife, IRL. And you meet this weird wolf man, and he wants you to relive your life and see if you're worthy of getting into the afterlife or whatever.
Oh, cool.
And so the game uses your webcam as your controller, so you can move around with the mouse. You can move your head around with the mouse, but you can't do anything. And as you're reliving your life from when you're like a baby all the way until you're an adult, every time you blink, you step forward in time. So
oh no,
it is really intense at points. What
if I paint eyes on my eyelids? Do you think I could get away with it? I don't want to move forward.
That's actually kind of, I
want to see if I can make the longest run by not blinking.
Actually, that is really smart. I mean, you can turn off the blinking mechanic
Boo.
and
No,
the accessibility features. But
I want like the opposite of a speed run. But you just have to have like a staring competition with the game. Like,
it'd be so difficult. And like once you think about blinking, you just all your eyes want to do is blink. And
yeah, I'm doing it now.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you're like there's parts of it where like blinking is fine and it won't move time forward, but then this metronome pops up at the bottom of the screen, and once that's there, next time you blink, you're on to the next scene. And
That's so interesting.
it can be like really intense where like something's happening and then you just reflexively
You're
blink
like,
and you're like, oh no, shit, I missed that. And so you're reliving this person's entire life. And yeah, it's quite something. I got the recommendation from Min-Max. They've spoken about it a lot on their podcast this year. And
okay.
Jacob Geller was on there and he was like raving about it, how good it is. And look, it was good, it was clever, but I didn't get like, it's not like up there in my top 10 list, I don't think.
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Top 10 of all time or top 10 of this year?
No, of this year.
Okay.
But it was interesting in that like it's a mechanic that I've never seen before. It's real simple art style, but like it's really clever. Like it's super clever. It's an hour and a half long, like $10, and I just had a great time. It's also really sad. Like all good indie games, it leaves you like sitting there, you're trying not to blink and you may be getting a couple of like,
a couple of tears. It's just because I'm not blinking.
It's just the no blinking, I promise. It's not sadness coming through. But yeah, I highly recommend trying it out. Like for the price that it is absolutely one of those games that like deserves the attention. I think it's got pretty good reviews on Steam.
Yeah, overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah. And I think it was also kickstarted.
When did it come out?
Maybe May.
April 8th.
April. Oh, close. Yeah. Yeah, really cool, really interesting. Real sad.
The first review says this shit got me crying on a Sunday night.
And I was like, no, I want to play this. And I was hanging out. I think it was on Saturday night. And I was like, oh, I'm bored of playing Halo or whatever the fuck I was doing. And I was like, no, fuck it.
Say that.
I want to. No, I never get bored of that game. I didn't talk about that. I was like, fuck it. I'm going to kick back and sit in front of my computer for a while and check it out. And like, yeah, an hour and a half. It was great. It was a great little experience. Big recommend if you want to, play something a bit different. Tier. It does look
fantastic.
Yeah. It's got a cool style and it's got some really cool like bits. Like there's not really many mechanics except like some parts you can like look at a thing and blink to give it like
to grab it. Yeah, I just saw in like one of the previews like blink to pick up a phone sort of thing. Interesting.
And there's like another bit where you're playing piano and you got to like keep your mouse in the area that's like lit up. It gets shorter and shorter, and as you get like worse and worse at it, it gets shorter and like you fuck it up really hard. So
I mean, I'd fuck that up anyway, but that's
and I'm doing it with a fucking trackpad. It's not ideal way to play a video game. Anyway.
No, that'll be perfect.
So I've knocked that one off my list. Speaking of backlogs, that's not nice. It is not one that's gonna take a weekend to finish. It's like one night, one sitting, feel some feels.
A little bit of fun. Could play that before work.
A little bit of fun, a little bit of sadness.
Lost Forever says on the side, in terms of games that make you cry, they said play The Last Campfire. Got tears in my eyes at the end. I looked it up because, I'm a fast looker-upper. That game immediately on my wish list. It looks so cute. This nice little like
Hello
puzzle
Games.
Game. It is Hello Games. Yeah, it looks wicked cute. Little puzzler adventure sort of thing.
I believe it's also on Apple Arcade.
Oh, nice. You know what else got me crying real hard? If you want to tear, completely off topic. Fucking Transistor. That game got me crying at the end. Oh my god.
Still,
literally like bawling, like my face not moving, but I'm just like, oh, I cried so much.
I know a long time ago we spoke about that game, and
It's
like
on.
we spoke about
Apple
spoilers
TV.
of that game, and even
Yeah.
then I still desperately want to play that, and like even though I know the story now,
Yeah.
but man,
Such a good
it
game.
looks so good. Yeah.
So good.
I played it. Unless you want to talk, I played another little game, which
Yeah,
I
go
smashed
for it.
out in a night
Absolutely.
as well.
Yeah.
So
A
this
single
one
night.
was not even on my radar, but it popped up on Game Pass. Hashtag Game Pass shill. It's called Exo 1, and it is, I think it literally just came to Game Pass. It's made by an Adelaide developer, which is so sick, which I didn't know until the end of the end credits, and it's like funded by government of South Australia or some shit.
Yes.
And you play as a ball, and you fly around
yes.
these sci-fi environments, and it's got a bit of a weird sci-fi story. You kind of control the how you are a ship, but you're just like a ball.
Yeah, you're a ball. Yeah. I can see this.
When you hold the right trigger, it like puts gravity on your ball, so like you go down into the earth.
Kind of like a what are those fucking mobile games where you're on the hills and you press to make yourself go down the hill and then fly out?
Pretty much like that, except it's 3D environments, big like open landscapes, real like alien worlds with like crazy environments and stuff. And you kind of just like soaring over these like dunes, and you can like float and then bounce, like propel yourself up in the air, and all you're kind of doing is going from planet to planet, and you see like a line
just vibing
in the sky, and you got to make it to that line, and then you shoot to the next planet. Like that line is like a warp thing.
Yeah, warp point.
A warp point. And you're trying to work out like there's like this ship from Earth went to Jupiter to like investigate Jupiter, and found this like alien ship, and then like everybody died, and then it like cuts to you being this ball, and they found alien remnants there or some shit, and so like it kind of makes no sense, but it kind of does at the end. Yeah, very cool ending. I thought the ending was probably one of the coolest parts about it, other than just like the way the music happens when you're like soaring through these areas. There's this one level where you're like, usually you're on a terrestrial world or like a water world. And the water worlds are cool because you can like dive into the water and then like bounce out of the water and fly. But there's this other one where there's like 3 or 4 little asteroids orbiting a sun, but you're like in the gravity of one of the like asteroids until you get fast enough to like breach its gravity and go to the next one.
Yeah, sick.
And then you're trying to make it to like this other warp point, which is on another asteroid. But there was this one fucking bit where like I went and got like the power pickup to make it a little bit like faster and a little bit like you can hold your flight longer and stuff.
Yeah.
And I made it back to the first asteroid and then jumped to the second one, easy as, jumped to the third one, easy as, and I just could not get from the third one to the warp point, like for like, it must have been half an hour, and it was driving me insane. And I was like, I know I'm doing the right thing. I know what I got to do is hit this thing at like a fast enough speed, and I will like, eject.
Jettison off, yeah.
Yeah, and it just would not happen. And because you're like in the orbit of this asteroid, you're kind of just going around and around.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this is so frustrating. I thought I'd fuck something up. So I restarted the level, did it again. I got stuck there for a while again. And then I finally did it. And I was doing exactly the right thing. I was just mustn't have been ejecting fast enough. But other than that, the game is quite good. Like, it's quite enjoyable. And just really serene, and it's just music. There's like a little bit of dialogue, but it's not like there's a subtitle, but it's kind of just like backwards words and shit like that. So there's no actual talking. It's cool. Mini Yeti saying it's so awesome and so satisfying. It is satisfying. Like sometimes when you get like a really fast, you hit the downward slope of like a big dune and hold your gravity just long enough and then get these huge launches. One of the levels towards the end is like really high up, and you can just like hit the speed of sound, and as you hit the speed of sound, there's like a what's it called when ships hit the speed of sound and they break the sound barrier, and there's like that ring around them.
Yeah.
That happens, and then the whole screen changes color, and you're like just fanging it. It's great fun.
Nice.
Around. So yeah, finished 2 games this week.
Very cool.
So satisfying. And I didn't even
Amazing.
plan on playing XO1. So thanks, Game Pass.
Thank you.
What about you, Kat?
Well, I started a new game.
Yeah.
One that I've been waiting on for a long time, and I've said many times that I was going to get it. I was going to play it. Kena.
Yes. On PS5.
Kena, Bridge of Spirits on PS5. You get the deluxe edition because that's all they sell as a physical edition, which comes with this sweet little sticker sheet.
Oh, cute little rots in hats.
Little rots
and
in
your
hats.
face just changed color entirely.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at me go. Wow.
The blue-gray again.
It's crazy. Weird. Anyways, that game is so good. So lovely. I think, that they do a lot of cutscenes when I don't think there necessarily needs to be a cutscene. Like you could have, like you walk into an area and you could have just seen something happen in front of you, and instead they switch it to a cutscene.
I love that. Also, I think they're visual effects studios.
They are,
probably
yeah.
like,
they're
look
an
at
animation
our animations,
studio.
motherfuckers.
Yeah. So it makes sense, but they do it sometime. Well, at the start of the game, I felt like they were doing it too much. Then they stopped doing it as much. So whatever. I think, maybe they realized as they were going that it didn't necessarily need to be that way. There's still a lot of cutscenes, but just at the start, it felt like there was some unnecessary ones for some reason.
Yeah, sure.
Anyways, fantastic game. Like, I absolutely love it. The animation and the world is stunning. Like, it is so beautiful. I'm just walking around having the greatest time of my life just looking at stuff. And I think something that I noticed that is like just very interesting to me is that it really captures how bright the sun is when you're in a natural landscape, and like how sometimes when it hits rocks, the rocks look completely white until you walk further into that sunshine, and then everything like adjusts to like what your eyes would see. It's really, really good. And they like are able to show the absolute like brightness of this sunshine without bloom or like without these like massive white blooms, or without bokeh effects or lens flares or anything. There's nothing like that. It's like a very natural lighting, but still very intense. And it looks phenomenal. Like all of the environment pieces look amazing. It's just so lovely. Like such a lovely world to walk around in, even when it like you're in the bad parts, like the gross bits of the world. Like it still looks great, and then like when they turn into nice bits, it's beautiful.
Yeah, cool.
So
do you kind of cleanse them or something like that?
Kind of, yeah. I don't know if you've ever played Origami.
No.
But in that you like revitalize trees and stuff, and then once you've revitalized it, like the land grows back in like a circular pattern sort of thing, and it shows like all the plants regrowing and stuff. Super reminiscent of that. Like I can't stop comparing it to that when I watch it. Even though they're completely different styles of game, just the way that it's presented is very similar. But it is just beautiful, absolutely stunning. And like there's all these like this fake religion that's a part of it, or this fake spirituality that's a part of it, and all these totems and graves and stonework and things that are linked to it that look phenomenal. It's just really, really nice, really well put together, really shows off how good they are at creating their worlds, their visuals and their animations. One of the things, the only thing that pissed me off is every fucking time I find a rot, it cuts to an animation. Every single time. Like you have to interact with it to say to pick it up, and then it goes and like zooms in, kind of like when you get a Korok seed and it zooms in on it every single time. But like some areas have 17 in them. And
Oh
I'm
god,
like,
okay, yeah.
dunk, oh, dunk, oh. Like I've
Yeah.
100% every
Are they all
area
the
I've been through.
same animation?
Same animation. Like they swirl around and
Oh,
go
yeah.
boop, and they're like, ha. And like
Oh, yeah,
sometimes there's
yeah.
more guys in the background because I think the animation, I don't know, is the I think the animation must be, it must just be a zoomed in camera because I think some of your other dudes are sometimes around it
Yeah, for
and
sure.
interacting in different ways. But it's the same animation every time. So like I think I've got 50 something of them. I've
Oh,
watched that
cool.
animation 50 something times to get a
How far are you into it?
I think I'm halfway or a bit
Oh,
over.
cool.
I think I've
Yeah,
played for about 5 hours.
yeah. Yeah, I hear
But I
it's
have,
not that long, which
yeah,
sounds
I heard
just
it's about 9 hours, but I've
yeah.
played like I've 100%ed the half that I have done. If you have the
Mhm.
map, you split it into basically 2 main sections. I've done one half. I've just walked into the other half and got like my last ability on the tree. There was like 4 slots. I started with 2, gained the third on the right side. I've gained the fourth on the left side. So I imagine I'm going to finish that story, which I've only just touched on. And then there's like the spirit shrine up the top, which seems like a much smaller zone
Mhm.
because it's kind of got like a fog of war on it. So I can't exactly see, but I think I'm about halfway.
Nice.
But it's kind of in a very simple way, like has Metroidvania elements in
Mhm.
terms of like you need to get a skill and then go back and do things. But because there's not so many areas, it's not as necessary. Like you might just be missing some collectibles or things like
Sure.
that
Yeah.
instead, as opposed to not being able to complete or having to go back to do that part for the story, sort of thing.
Mhm.
Um, but other than that, fantastic. I'm playing it on like there's 3 difficulties and then a 4th one that you have to unlock.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so the story, the way it's intended, hard and very hard. I'm just playing it on the way it's intended.
yeah. I
Um,
hear it's tricky. Some boss fights can be hard.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really weird because they don't really facilitate a lot of options for healing. And some of the boss fights, I feel they're not built incredibly well in terms of the abilities that you have versus them. Like you can shoot them with your arrow, but your arrows regain on a timer, so that's not incredibly
Mm.
useful.
Mhm.
Um, and then if you're hitting them with your stick, they're like sponges to damage. Like you just got to
Yeah.
hit them so much, even just on the normal difficulty. Um, and then occasionally they'll have like 2 or maybe 3 spots, even the normal enemies, where it's like a weak spot. And for the weak enemies, you can hit them in that and they'll die. But for some of the stronger enemies, like you'll hit all 3 weak spots and they still have like half health or more left. And it's like,
Right. Yeah.
my God, like this takes such a long time.
So it's almost not a difficulty thing as so much as like a maybe not so well balanced, like
Yeah,
in
I
those
think
kind
so.
of battles. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And like
Is the
obviously
combat Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I could be better at the combat for sure.
Right.
But I think especially when like I'm used to really balanced games like Dark Souls or something where like the
Mm.
hits that they do versus the abilities and the consumables that you have are pretty well balanced. I don't think it is that way. Most bosses you'll have 1 heal or maybe 2 if you're lucky when you get in there, and it's not something that you can choose to do. If you want to heal, you have to hit the enemy enough to get a rot power, and then you got to send the rot to go get it. But if you really want to be doing damage to the boss, you need to use that rot power to attack the boss. So you can sort of
Mm.
lose your ability to heal, and then if you've just used a rot power to do some damage, he'll hit you once and you'll be in a state where you absolutely need to heal or you will die on the next hit, sort of thing,
Yeah.
because it takes
Sure.
away almost all of your health. And that can make it really hard to want to use those abilities that get you through the fight quicker,
Mm.
because 1 hit means that like you're out of there. Like you need to pretty much play a perfect game after you've used your ability. So it's man, like that. I can get over that. I mean, like for me when I fight the bosses, I think I've only fought one the main boss that I've fought so far, like I think maybe it took me 3 or 4 tries, so not many. Like especially in terms of what other games have made other people do. So it's really not too bad. But
Genichiro, you motherfucker.
Exactly. But I definitely think it could be balanced a little bit better. But they're an animation studio making a game for the first time, so that is like a really, really minor complaint, because they're definitely doable, and I can definitely play those a lot safer. I just don't want to.
For a first game, I think it is just such a it's such a marvel that they've pulled this off. Like, I don't know. Obviously it's the first game for the studio. I don't know what everybody in that studio did before this. I don't know, a lot of them were in animation, but I'm sure there was some, game developers in there. But
clearly, I mean, surely.
Like that it's very impressive. I'll talk about it more later on when we talk about backlog stuff, but it's just such a stunning game. And like,
it is gorgeous.
Are the rot? So first of all, the rot are fucking adorable.
Yeah. And you can get hats for them.
You can put hats on them. So good.
So good.
So are they, like, when you've got 50 of them, all of them are following you, right? Like, they're all there?
Kinda. Like,
okay.
I honestly haven't counted them out, but I think they could probably be all there.
And like, are they used just like for their abilities, or do they attack? Do they
just for abilities? So when you're in a boss, like, you get a little wheel that you fill up when you make hits, and then you can use an ability, which could be like, I like to use the rot hammer. So you like charge up a heavy attack, and then you add rot damage to it, and you smack down. Does a lot of damage. Or you can like lock onto an enemy and zoom in and use your rot to bind them for a little bit, so they can't really move around as much. Very helpful. Or a rot arrow, if you like. I think those are the main 3.
So you just ping a rot at them.
Yeah, you like use your arrow, and then you put a little dude on the end, and you fucking fly it into his anus.
Yes. Oh my god.
And then outside of combat, you use them to interact with like the puzzles, so they can pick up blocks for you and walk them around.
Right.
Yeah, they can like attach to the bad like flowers and stuff, so that you can like clear them and dispel them, sort of thing. So there's not like a massive utility on them, but one of my favorite things about it is that when you're walking around, they are constantly like, instead of moving with you all the time, they will run after you, but they'll just disappear, and then they'll reappear nearby. So they'll just disappear and reappear on a pot. Or if you're climbing along a ledge, they'll just like appear up on the ledge watching you, sort of thing. Like, it's really well done. Like, they're just cool. Everywhere. The funniest part is when you get onto like some weird loading spot for them, where they're trying to move forward, but they don't know where they're going, so they just start appearing in the air and falling to the ground around you. And like, if you just stand there, they'll fall to the ground, disappear, and reappear in the air, and you're just like sitting in like a shower of them, because they don't know what they're doing.
Is that a bug, or is that
I think it's
by
a bug.
design?
I think they're trying to go somewhere, and they don't know where they're going, because they must be like loading between this area and that area, and they're just dropping straight in the center. Hilarious. Kind of like, look, Laz says like Higgledies in Ni no Kuni. I want to play Ni no Kuni too, but I haven't played any of them. So to me, they remind me of like little Pikmins running around with me.
Yeah. Would you remember that Wild at Heart game I played earlier this year? You're collecting those little like wood sprites. It's very much reminiscent of them, except they're cool because you throw them at your enemies to attack, because you can't do any damage.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm so excited to play it and dust.
And it pulls at your heartstrings.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. Because you're kind of like bridging people to the spirit world, right?
Like bridge of spirits. Yeah.
Is she the bridge of the spirits?
She's the bridge of the spirits. Yeah, you're like her job is to find people and help them move on, and help them let go.
Excuse me.
Oh my god. Well, excuse me, because my camera desynced. Give me 1 second.
Oh, okay. Yes, they are very much like Pikmin. Oh, there she goes.
Now I'm back. That's a bit better.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Roguelites, which is Tash. Welcome. Says Nino
Welcome.
Kuni is awesome and so sad in places.
I
Yeah.
really want to play it.
Yeah.
Well, I have number 2, so I want to play that.
Have you played 1? No.
No.
No, it's good.
But
It's
it
better
is
than 2, I
sad.
think. Like,
It's sad. Like Kina is sad. Like it's
like I was saying, like all good indies are fucking sad.
yeah. It's the animation is fantastic because they tell most of like the story beats in the animation as well.
Mhm.
And like part of the spirituality of the area is that when someone dies, they carve a wood mask, and as that wood mask decays, that helps the spirit pass into the next life or into the afterlife, sort of thing. So you take other people's wood masks and you take them
Yeah.
around with you and you wear them and you like watch some of their memories. Oh my gosh, so sad.
Really?
Wow.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
crazy. So yeah, it's I followed one main story which was on the right side of the map, and now I'm up to the second one, which is very cool. I'm really keen to keep playing it. It's really, really good. It's really enjoyable, and like even though it's so like melancholic, it's also very peaceful to be in that world. It's really nice.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Well, that kind of it does bring us into our topic for this week.
Yeah.
Which also brings me into the game I'm currently playing as well. So we're going to
Go
talk
for it.
about backlogs. Mini Yeti says up here, how big is your backlog? I don't think
Massive.
there's no
Words cannot
no scale
describe.
on this. We're just going to talk about 2021 backlogs and talk about a few little different sections. So we're going to talk about games we are definitely going to finish. Well, at least, you know, yeah,
Fingers crossed, you know.
It's always a tough one when it comes to video games. We're going to talk about some games we would like to finish if we can get around to them, and games we will not get around to finishing, definitely. And now I will preface this as well in saying this doesn't even include the games that are about to come out in December, which we know includes Halo Infinite. So,
yes.
By the way, stay tuned to Season Gaming at Season Gaming on Twitter, as I will be editing the video for the Halo review when it drops next week. So, listen to my dulcet tones over there. All right, so games we are going to finish, and the game that I've also recently started this week with Tash, who's also in the chat, is Life is Strange: True Colors.
Nice.
I'm really digging it. And can I say, if you don't know anything about this game and you buy the physical version, don't read the blurb on the back, because it literally spoils episode 1. And thankfully I didn't. But Tash did, and she's like, "Yeah, I knew this was going to happen because it says it on the back of the box," which is so stupid. Why? Like, it's
why
like
would you do that?
At the end of episode 1, something really significant happens, and it's like the first episode is like 3-4 hours. Especially when you go around and do every single little thing like we were doing and talk to everybody and try and do everything, you know, in depth. That's like what? Like that's just killing off the first 4 hours of the game because you know what is going to happen. But can I just say, really cool game. So you play as Alex Chen, who has been in like a I don't know what you call it. What do they call it? Like a detention, not a detention center, but like a halfway house kind of thing for like, you know, kids with issues, and like her parents aren't around, and
those are very different things, but yes, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. No, it's not like a detention center or something. She's like, kind of gets let out of here, and she goes to live with her brother in Colorado in this like really beautiful, quaint mining town. And immediately I'm like, oh, I want to live there. It's so pretty. It's like right up in the mountains. You know, there's like a record store and a dispensary, and you know, it's like super chill, and there's lots of cool people there, and it's like very small town vibe, and everyone's super nice to you because your brother's like totally talks you up. But your superpower is, because obviously it's a Life is Strange game, your superpower is empathy, and like you can feel people's really strong emotions. So when someone's like starts to get mad, she gets like taken over by that feeling.
Yeah.
Group home. Thanks. Yeah. Foster care home. Tash says in the chat. Group home is what they call it. So she said, like, if someone's like fearful or like, it can happen with positive emotions as well, but like anger, you know, she kind of lashes out because she's feeling the anger they're feeling as well, and she can't control it. And it's really interesting how you kind of learn about it as you're playing as her. And she's really well voice acted, and like the art style is stunning. Like, I think it is really cool, but it's like, it's not super photorealistic, but it's so weird. It's so hard to say exactly what it is. It's like photorealistic features on a face, but like the hair is almost like plasticine looking. It's like not strands of hair, like something like Guardians of the Galaxy or something like that, where it's like really realistic, but everyone has like really, you know, human looking, real looking faces and stuff. But the facial capture, especially on Alex, is like almost second to none. Like, it's not quite Last of Us Part 2 levels where it's like every animation in that is just insane.
Yeah.
But it is like the way her eyes move and the way her face moves, like when she's talking, it really conveys emotion, like better than any game I've seen this year.
Well,
like,
it's better if it's about emotion.
Exactly. And I think that's why, you know, even though the graphics technically aren't like
mind-blowing or anything,
mind-blowing, it's like the detail in the faces is like really stunning. So it really does help when a lot of the gameplay is just having conversations with people, and there are like decisions in the first chapter or first episode that I think will have repercussions down the line and stuff like that.
Nice.
At the end of the episode, like in all the kind of Telltale games and everything like that, it gives you a, you know, 93% of players did this, and, you know, 50%
lots of people chose this choice.
I love that. I love seeing that at the end, and you're like, oh shit, like people are real assholes, or like, oh, people really love this one character because everybody chose to hug them at the start of the game. It's like, it's so cool to see. But it is really like, it's a really slow start, like super, super slow start. And you kind of just having conversations and just getting to know this town. And then it fully ramps up at the end. But I was thinking like, okay, this is fun. Like, yeah, cool. This is a good end of an episode. And then like something fucked up happens. And then it's the end of the episode. And it's like, oh, immediately you're like, okay, this is where that was leading to. And I did not realize, because I didn't read the back of the box. So definitely don't read the back of the box.
Amazing.
So that's good the game I've been playing, but also that's the game I'll be finishing. One of the games I'll be finishing before the end of the year. Because I apparently, when it gets to like chapter 3, episode 3, the end of episode 3, it's like really steps it up to this next level where it's like, oh, wow, this is why people are talking about it in their kind of game of the year.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm excited to see where that goes. I've never finished a Life is Strange game before. It's not made by Don't Nod. It's made by the people who did Life is Strange Before the Storm, I think. I can't remember what they're called, but because Don't Nod just recently did Tell Me Why. And it's almost a similar art style to that, where it's very pretty environments and stuff. But yeah, highly enjoying it. I might play a little bit before bed tonight. We'll see how we go. It's very good. Episode 1 is down. I was going to play more yesterday, but XO1 just appeared on my screen, so I played that instead.
Nice.
All right. What about you, Kat? What's a game you're going to finish before the end of the year? And I think, you know, this is potentially a pretty obvious one.
Yes, the only game that I can 100% confirm that I will finish before the end of the year is Kena, Bridge of Spirits. That's it.
Yeah,
that's all I can confirm. Like, I haven't really got anything else that I'm like playing on my plate right now. So it's the only choice for me. It's the only one. And I just went on about it for about 20 minutes. So
yeah,
I'll keep my mouth shut.
No worries. Perfect. I'm about to talk about it for a couple of minutes. The other game I will be finishing is It Takes Two. And this is another one I'm going to play with Tash.
Did you start it?
I haven't started it yet. No, we decided to get Life is Strange
out of the way.
On a good bargain. We got a physical edition from EB for like $57.
Oh, nice.
Which is cool. So yeah, so I was like, yeah, let's play this first, because you know me, I like a good game with no mechanics. And It Takes Two is very, puzzle heavy. I just wanted
Yeah,
something to kick back
absolutely.
and
Point and click
just
adventure.
enjoy. So yeah, that's it. But yeah, It Takes Two is next on the chopping block. I got to knock that out before the end of the year discussions, because I think it may be worthy of some praise. They say,
Yeah, they do say that.
They be saying that.
They be saying it.
All right, let's talk about games you would like to finish.
Yeah. Well, do you want to start with the one I've already talked about, and then we can start about. Then we can talk about the one that we both like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart. Jeez, Kat, good work. Yeah. So I would really like to finish, and I do have some holidays coming up just before we do our final episode of the year. So I'm going to hopefully bash it out in a couple of days. That is Kana. I'm going to have to get it on PS4 because I don't have a PS5. Big sad. But I think it's still going to look incredible.
Absolutely.
On the PS4 Pro, and 10, 12-hour game. I'm all about that shit. Like, give me a nice adventure game. It's such a joyous length of time. Even Guardians being about 20 hours or whatever it was. That was a great length for a game.
What a game.
I love that game. But Kana, I can't wait to play. It looks like such a pretty world. And just like that adventure style. Like, one question I didn't ask you before is, like, the maps. Is it like a open area where you explore and you're going between them? Is it?
It's kind of like
levels.
It's kind of like tunnels and fields. Like, it is very linear, but they give you open spaces to complete your goal in, and like you still can only complete your goal in one way. Really, but it's a large open area where you do some exploring, you find some extra stuff, you complete them potentially in different orders. But yeah, it's little corridors and then open fields, but it's fantastic, and you can go back whenever you want.
Yes, hence the collectible rock.
Yeah, which is really great, because a lot of games, they'll do like collectibles that you can't go back and get. Oh my God, does that piss me off? How dare you put that on the screen if I can't go back and get it? Don't tell me about it. I'd rather not know.
Fucking dogs. The one we both have.
Yeah.
I'll let you take that away.
Death's Door, that's what I've got, and you've got on our 2-play list. I purchased it in the, last week we talked about the Black Friday sales, and I said Steam didn't have one. They have launched an autumn sale, so I purchased it in the autumn sale as a part of a bundle.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, so there was a bundle with 3 games in it. I already owned one. Deathloop? That's the one, isn't it? No, Loop Hero. Loop Hero.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I'm mixing 2 games together. So
Loop Hero.
Yeah, I already owned Loop Hero. So it was discounted even more. So I bought Death's Door in that bundle. Really excited to give that a go. I don't even know how long it is. And I'm pretty terrible at like the twin stick sort of stuff. I'm just really bad at aiming. But I really want to give it a go. And hopefully I can finish it.
On howlongtobeat.com, Death's Door is about 8.5 hours main story.
Really?
I usually look at main and extras because I can't just do the
I'll
story.
Do some of the extras.
And that's 11 hours. 14 and a half for completions. Again, another very manageable one. Can
I tell you something that really disappointed me about Kana, though?
Talk to me.
All of the achievements, I think, are gettable in your first playthrough, apart from beating it on the highest difficulty, which you can't do until you've, I guess, beaten the hard difficulty as it is, and then you got to beat the hardest. I hate that. Fuck you with your fucking achievements that make me play it again, dog.
There was a bug apparently when it first released that's since been patched, but
no,
where you could finish the game, start it on the highest difficulty, save, and then load your previous save at the final boss, change the difficulty to the max, kill the final boss, and then
get out of there.
The achievement.
Oh, that would have been a dream.
And because you're killing the final boss, you've got all your skills and everything like that as well. So
yeah.
But
that would have been nice.
Apparently. So.
Oh man.
Yeah, Death's Door. Oh, it sounds like a brilliant game.
Yeah,
Let's see, what does it have on Metacritic at the moment?
you're telling
I
me.
think it literally just came to PlayStation and Switch like
Switch, yeah,
a
not
month
too
ago
long
or
ago.
so. Death's Door for Series X has 87 on Metacritic. That's
Nice.
big.
That's
That's
high.
big.
That's
That's
big
high.
numbers.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. Everyone I know who's a big indie lover is like, oh, you got to play this, you got to play this, and like it's $30. That's
Yeah, it
it's
was
worth
20
it
bucks
for
for
good.
me if I
Yeah,
half
that's
my, deal that I got.
very
Win.
cool. Death's Door, and the other one. I'm just gonna find a comment from my name, Jeff.
Yeah,
This
I
is
need to finish
yours.
Inscription before the end of the year, says my name, Jeff. That's my other one that I want to play by the end of the year. The other game that was in that bundle was Inscription. It was the Loop
Yes,
Hero, Death's Door,
cool.
and Inscription. I've already got Loop Hero, which was a fantastic game this year. So the other two are my hopes to finish for the year. I know that Inscription is, again, not too long, depending on how you play it and how well you play it.
Yeah, because it's got that card game
Yeah, like,
roguelike mechanic,
yeah,
right?
yeah, you can lose and start again. So
And
depending on
this,
how
I
you
think what's
play it.
cool about Inscription is like everyone I know who's played it is like, nah, no spoilers. You can't know what's happening in this game. And I love that about the
Yeah,
community who's just like, nah, you can't know the real game behind this until you play it yourself. And oh my
yeah.
god, my name Jeff with the super
The
chat,
super
7.99
chat to
super
finish
chat. You haven't played
Inscription.
finish Inscription, I dare you.
I guess I
Oh,
have to. Like,
money's
I have to now.
down. The
My
clown is
money is
down.
down. Well, watched a little
Thanks,
bit
my name
on
Jeff.
YouTube. I didn't. I don't think get any story that really matters because I just watched that, like, the opening section to see if it was something that I'd enjoy. So I watched the opening section. I understand the premise of the game,
Mhm.
and that's all I've seen. So I'm really excited
Yeah.
to give it a go. Hopefully, I will succeed in my card game skills and my escape room skills. That's all I know. It does look
So
a bit
cool.
spooky, though.
It does look
A little bit
spooky. A little
spooky.
bit spookins.
Little
All right.
spookums, but not too much.
What do we got? We got a couple of games that we will not finish this year.
This year. Not
now,
happening.
I'll
Time
let
to disappoint everyone.
Time to disappoint everyone. But at the same time, no, I'm only gonna let you start. I'll let you start.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this just, can I preface with, don't get too
Preface away.
disappointed because it's just not finishing this year. We've only got a bloody month left. I can't do everything, mate.
Quite
I'll probably
literally.
play these games at one point. I'll lead with the one. I don't know if when you read this, Elliot, if you would expect this, but I'm going to lead with the one that I think I will finish at some point more. And I think I will finish at some point, but will not finish this year at all, Mass Effect. Any of them. Because I got the whole
That's the fucking
trilogy.
Correct answer. That is the correct answer, right there.
I got that trilogy, and I am literally at the point of no return in the first game, and I just haven't finished it because I was like, I got to do the side stuff, and then I got distracted by a million other things. I really just want a nice big block of time to sit down and play them. Not that I have to play them back to back, but to play a whole of the game. I just want to be able to sit down and play it, and I don't really have that much time.
And look, once you start to, I think you're going to be like, because I know like you put quite a lot of time into one, but I know we spoke about like the jank factor a bit. Pardon the dogs next door.
That's okay. I love them.
There's a puppy over there apparently.
Wow!
Number 2 kind of solves all the jank problems.
And it's a genre I love. I fucking love space. Like, I've been listening to this new album, right? And one of the songs on it is literally just a full fucking interview with Chris Hadfield about his last space trip and his descent back to Earth with music behind it. It's so fucking good. I love space. I cannot wait. So Mass Effect is the one that I believe I will finish it at some point. Especially since there's a new one coming out. That's going to be ages off. So it could be a long
maybe
time.
Like next generation, to be honest.
Exactly. So I've got all the time in the world. But I will finish them because I love that genre. I just need the time to do it, and I'm not going to get it this year.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You need, Mass Effect 2 is only like 30 hours, maybe, well, with all the expansions, maybe 40. So it's not even that huge. It's not like an undertaking of Assassin's Creed proportions or something like that.
Yeah. But still, I'd prefer.
But it's still a game that you're going to want to play in succession with, like, you're not going to want to start Mass Effect 2 and then finish it in 6 months. You're going to want to play it in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Great choice, though. Great fucking choice. Amazing. All right. I'm going to preface mine as well in saying I really did want to finish this before the end of the year because I do, as far as I've heard from everybody that I know who's played it, it is deserving of those end of year discussions. It's Psychonauts 2. And now I'll also preface this that this is Laz's fault because we made a deal that I would finish Psychonauts 1 if he would finish Mass Effect 1. So he's going to play Mass Effect 1 as long as I finish Psychonauts 1 because I'm like probably a third of the way through the game at the moment of number 1 and it is good. It is really good, but it's just old and it's hard to go back to an old game. So
that's what I'm saying about Mass Effect, boy.
But this is even older. This is like what 2000 and what year was it, Laz? Who would know? 2000. Oh, maybe it's only a couple of years older. But so I'm not going to get to Psychonauts 2 because I know that I won't get around to playing Psychonauts 1 before the end of the year, just with Halo coming and stuff like that, and with all these other 2005. Yeah, there you go. So 4 years older than Mass Effect 1. But it's from the previous generation. So it's like, 4:3 aspect ratio. And it's it's even got the black and white button prompts instead of left and right bumper. So yeah. But I really do want to play Psychonauts 2 and it looks amazing and I can't wait to experience it. Right. And there we go. Laz is saying, I got the trilogy for Mass Effect and just wanted to skip Mass Effect 1 jank. So Elliot and I made a gentleman's agreement. Because you've got to play it, man. You've got to play Mass Effect 1. Look, just power through the story. Don't do the side stuff because, look, it's
I've got one mission left.
I know. And it's the best mission. You've been to Vermeer already, right? Like you've been to
what the places are called.
Did you go to like the pretty
the pretty
like
watery beach place?
Yeah. So you've been to Vermeer. You're literally on Ilos, about to go to Ilos, which is like the like there's that shit happens on Vermeer, but on Ilos, it's even more. I'm so excited for you to experience that.
Look, I mean, there is the chance that I could finish Mass Effect 1 by the end of the year, seeing as it's probably only got a couple of hours left in it to do that.
3 hours, yeah.
Yeah, but definitely I'm not playing the rest of them, so.
You should finish it. I'll put a super chat down on our channel.
Finish Mass Effect, I dare you.
All right, what's your second one?
My second one that I will not be finishing this year. But I haven't started it either. I don't even own it. I was potentially going to buy it in like the Black Friday sales, but I just didn't.
Fucking 50% off everywhere. There were ads on YouTube for it. 50% off.
I went to the shops because I bought Kena and I looked at it and I was like, I'm already buying a game, so I may as well buy another one. But I'm already buying a game, so should I buy another one? And I just, in the end, I went, nah, I won't play it, right? Like, I'm not going to play it, so there's no point.
It'll be on Game Pass in a year.
It'll be on Game Pass later. Deathloop, I didn't buy it. I'm not playing it. Until it comes out in Game Pass, then we'll see. Shove that right in the backlog. Off it goes. People said it's great, but like, look, it was interesting to me. I was interested in it when I looked at it, but not that interested. So see ya. Off you go.
Goodbye.
Right in the back.
Bye-bye. Look, it's okay. Their new game will come out next year on Game Pass, and you can play that. And it's about vampires. So
yeah.
Yeah. What do you prefer, vampires or weird time loops?
Vampires.
There you go.
Time loops. You know, I've already had my bad experiences with that this year. I
Oh,
don't need it.
fucking
No
hell.
more time loops.
Tell me about it.
Can
Play
I
the
wait?
Forgotten City. It'll make up for the shit one.
I'm gonna interrupt this discussion with the fact that 12 minutes in the fucking Game Awards as best indie or whatever. What absolute hogwash. Get that out of there. That's
Oh.
trash. Narita Boy, slot that in. My God.
Yeah. Oh, someone on a podcast I was listening to this week mentioned Narita Boy as like a sleeper hit that no one's talking about. And I was like, thank you.
It's so good.
Someone. Oh my God.
It's so good.
Like,
play Narita Boy, I dare you.
Spoilers for next week's podcast. We're going to be doing our game awards predictions because that's coming up on the 9th. But like, I tell you fucking what, that is hogwash in a half. Like 12. Oh,
12 minutes
I don't
was
even want to
probably
get started.
If there was a game award for least favorite game of the year, worst game of the year,
like if they gave out a game award for that.
Worst time of the year, people hated your game the most out of all games, I would give it to 12 minutes. Really sorry to the people that made it. I'm sure like your work was very hard and that's appreciated. But in other ways, it's not appreciated and I wish I didn't experience it.
Fuck you, Willem Dafoe, you dog.
Go back to being Green Goblin. Get out of my video games.
All right, my second one, and it is a game that I own, and again, I haven't started it, and it's like that came out. People actually enjoyed it. Some people enjoyed it, but then no one's mentioned it in the last like 7 months.
Yeah,
it's Biomutant.
Rippy Dippy.
Rippy Dip. It looks so pretty. It's weird. It looks interesting for an RPG.
The world is nice.
So it's another one. Like I really want to get to it, and I bought it. But like, when am I going to get to play that? It's like 50 hours or some shit. Well, like, what have I done?
Oh no.
So I'm definitely not finishing that before the end of the year. Although I don't know by the sounds of, your thoughts on it, and like I don't know if it would make it into my kind of favorite games of the year stuff.
It's not in mine, so
no. And that's kind of what I'm looking at these games specifically for, because I've played a lot of indie games this year. Some great, like some fucking amazing, and some just okay. Yeah. And I played a few big games that have been good, but I want some like bangers that I'm like, this is, game of the year. I mean, I think I already know my game of the year, but we all know who I am. So, Biomutant, Laz is saying, Biomutant is in the landfill next to all the copies of ET on Atari.
Look, I
just brutal.
I wish to edit this comment and just say 12 minutes is in the landfill next to all the copies of ET on Atari, because it was way worse than Biomutant.
So
Biomutant was like literally thousands of times better. Oh. 12 minutes is in my hell. Like, if I die and go downwards,
I'm going to be in 12 minutes. Hell.
Oh my God.
It's not.
You're right. We've just figured it out.
Oh my God.
It's a commentary on hell. Oh my God.
And whatever your name is who wrote it, you're a genius. It was bad.
Mad genius. It's so bad. It's good.
Nah, it's just bad.
It's just bad. Sorry. But this is just, my humble opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Play it yourself if you want to know, but
and look, also Biomutant, I don't know, it's got a cool vibe. I like the vibe.
So much of it was good. So much of it was good, and I definitely think that the reviewers that obviously don't put in 50 hours into the game because they've got to make a review. They mainline the story. I think that really, really affected reviews, because those main bosses do like create a damper on the game as a whole, but the rest of the game is so fantastic.
It seems quite creative, and like the cool like mounts and vehicles and shit like that. That's cool. That's cool. So fuck you, 12 minutes. See you in the Atari bin.
Yeah. Bye-bye, you trash bird.
Bye-bye. All right. Well, look, we're sitting at almost exactly 1 hour.
That's a shocker.
That is a shocker. And to be honest, I thought we were running a bit short on topics, but I should, after 48 episodes, really know us by now.
Yeah,
Like,
you gotta believe.
We you gotta believe. I mean, I talked about XO1 for about 10 minutes. So, Lost Forever is saying you've got to finish the Ascent. Cat,
Yes.
you got a new GPU.
I do indeed. And you know what? I was actually, before we recorded, I was going through a Game Pass and I was adding things to my play later list. Because there's a ton of games. Even today they added like Mind Scanner, and I really want to play that game, which is another indie. And they have like the Mortal Shell Definitive Edition. You know,
saw that
just got added. Like, there's tons of games I really want to play. So I was adding things to my wish list, and I looked over to the side of my installed games, and I saw the Ascent, and I thought, oh, you're really close. You're really close to being finished, buddy. You know, and I thought about adding it into our list today, but I just wasn't sure where I wanted to put it. You know, I'd like to finish it. But maybe also, you know, it's been so long. So maybe I put it in my will not finish it. But I'd like to finish it. It was a great game. So maybe I put it in my would like to finish. I mean, I've probably only got one go left. So maybe I put it in my definitely finish. But, you know, I just left it out because it's a bit I'm not 100% about it. I had a fantastic time with it, but it was just so buggy with like the frames and stuff.
Were you playing it co-op? I can't remember.
No, I played it by myself.
It did not click for me, and I really wanted it to.
Well,
I don't know what it was.
I think, you know, I had a really good time playing it on stream, and I find that for a lot of single players for myself, I really love to play games by myself. So streaming really helps and makes it more enjoyable as a whole. I got hiccups as a whole for me anyway. So I think that that really helps me playing it. But God, the frame rate and the stuttering really pissed me off. Because like you die in like 2 seconds because I dropped a frame, and I'm like, why is this happening? Like, optimize your fucking game. And they updated it and it got worse, just like Cyberpunk, which I also will not be finishing by the end of the year.
No, I'm waiting for that next gen patch. Did you see it was trending on Twitter yesterday though?
Yeah, you know why? Because they keep coming out and promising that they're like, we promise it'll be ready. You made lots of promises already, you dogs.
I think it started getting like really positive reviews on Steam for some reason though.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. And one of the things that they said, they were like, they are confident that Cyberpunk 2077 will one day be a great game. And I'm like, you were confident about that before it came out and it was trash. But also, like, why did you not just have that be your goal from the beginning?
It's such a good game too. I think what shits me so much about this whole situation is like, yeah, it's fucking broken. It should never have come out in the state that it came out in. But it's fan-fucking-tastic. I really think that is a great game. And I know there's like all these videos on the internet laughing how it's like nominated for Best RPG of last year at the Game Awards, which is a bit weird, but also like it's a fucking good game.
Well, if you think about it as well, like this time last year, we were talking about how it was going to be unfair to the games of this year that Cyberpunk was going to be included because like it was going to roll them, which obviously did not happen. But like in some ways, Cyberpunk was really good. The storytelling I still think is really amazing. And like the what's the character called that you're not really friends with, but you are friends with? And he like helps you out and helps you break into places.
The
that guy. Yeah. Anyways,
he's like the bodyguard of the main like Japanese dude. Yeah.
I absolutely love that character.
Crazy,
so fantastic. Yeah, and I was like, I was devastated that I could not romance that man. And I think that's where it starts falling apart. Yeah, Hanamura maybe. That sounds good. That sounds all right. Although it doesn't at the same time. It sounds like an Overwatch level. Anyways.
I think it is.
But like maybe that's why it sounds familiar. But like there's such good points in the story, but then you get to parts like that where you're like, wow, this is an amazing character. I'd like to romance that character.
Mm,
And it just starts falling apart when you get into those deeper RPG elements because you
mhm.
can't date the majority of the characters. There's 4 romanceable characters, which is so
Yes.
limited in such what was supposed to be such an open world. There's
Mm.
no like one of the things that really, really annoyed me was the lack of character customization as you go throughout the game. You can change your outfit, but nothing else. Stupid. The apartments,
You
which
can't
was
change
like,
your fucking hair
you can't change your
after the
hair.
fact. Like, what? In a
And I really
Cyberpunk?
wanted to change my hair.
And the hairs looked sick too. Like, they
Yeah.
were good.
And like that surely can't be a hard change. You already let me pick my hair.
It was
like
a thing in The Witcher. Like,
in The
implement.
Witcher, his hair
I'm not a
grew.
game developer. I'm not a fucking game developer. Obviously, I
you're
don't
right.
know. But like, yeah, in The Witcher, his hair fucking grew. His beard grows, and then he can get it cut. And I know that only came in later on anyway. But like,
But you've
well,
done
they
it.
kind of,
You know
they kind of
now.
have the tech there. Like, fuck, let me grow my hair super long. Like,
Yeah. And that just like those little things, like once you start like seeing those things that disappoint you, it just becomes, well, for me it became really disappointing because I'm thinking of all these things that like would be perfect for this world and what I'm expecting, and like it's never quite meeting my expectations. I want to date that person, I can't. Like expectation lost. Like I want to customize my hair, I can't. Bang. I want to get a newer part, I can't do that. Like, so you just keep getting hit by it. And also like when I was playing, because I played it on my PlayStation 5, that it got to a point where like they updated it and like just walking was bugged. Like like I had to do that. Like I couldn't do any of the desert areas, which is where I was, because walking was bugged. And so like at that point I was like, all right, I wash my hands of this and I'll come back later.
And I
knows?
definitely will go back to that game. And I like, it'll be so long since I've played it when it comes out that I'm going to have to start it again. But I think
I'm hoping
like,
that by the time we get back to it, it is what we wanted. Like,
yeah. Oh, I'm waiting for that next gen patch just for the performance improvements. But I'm hoping and assuming that like additional content will be released by then, like actual expansions. And so there might be, significantly new stuff.
Yeah.
Because like, what is there? Like some of those moments are like some of the best gaming
really
in the
good
last couple of years. That I will never forget the first night I played that game, that first act. I stayed up all night playing like 8 hours straight. I played it from midnight to 8 a.m. I could not stop playing it. And that scene where you're like hiding in the apartment while everything's going down and you're like up against the glass and they can't see. That is one of the coolest moments, especially because they decided that should be first person. Like you couldn't do that scene in a cutscene. You couldn't do that scene in third person. It was so good. But after that first act, it never lived up to that level that first act brought, like the escape and everything like that, and everything with Jackie, and like it just did not, unfortunately, live up to that. And there's some really nice personal bits, like when Johnny, like you kind of bonding with Johnny, it was like, oh, this is really good, but like it's not. There's not enough of that, or like the highs are so high, but then the lows are so low.
Yeah,
and it just had all the obviously issues and stuff as well.
Yeah, even bonding with Johnny, like I played that game so slowly. Like I was doing tons and tons of side quests before I started even moving forward. And it gets to the point where like Johnny asks if you trust him. And I was like, no, like, I've done nothing has happened that would make me trust you at this point. Like the story, like you said at the start, there's so much depth and like emotion and so many cool things happening that make you really tied to those characters, but they don't continue that forward with the character that's stuck in your head. Well, for me at least, I was like, why? Like I feel like we just started bonding. I don't feel like I'm at the point yet where I should be answering this question with a yes, I trust you, or whatever, because like we haven't done enough yet. And like Lost Forever says, I don't want to play with my Shalong size. Why is that in there when all this other stuff is not? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Also, Steve makes a really good point. The cutscenes where you're running with Jackie should have been moments or side quests in the game. Absolutely. Like
Yes,
that
I
bit where it
believe
like
so too.
flashes through like it's
So
like
many
6
cool
months later or whatever,
scenarios.
and you're like, why isn't this
I
part
thought
of the
the
game?
exact same thing. I was like, why
Mm,
did I not get to play that? Like,
mm.
so disappointing. It
Because like,
especially takes away a little of the impact of the finale of that section as well, because
yes.
you don't get to spend that 6 months creating that bond.
That is exactly what I was going to say. It's like they want you to feel a certain way about a character, and then when that's taken away, you're meant to feel something. But it's like, yeah, but
You didn't
V
make me feel
V
that.
experienced that, but I didn't experience it,
Yeah.
right? Like,
And I feel
you
like
know,
that's the same thing about when you get to the part where Johnny asks if you trust him. Like, you're trying to say that my character does feel this way right now, but I haven't experienced that. Like, I don't know what you're on about. What? Yeah. Oh well.
Interesting thoughts. A game I do.
I like it so much, but I also
Yeah.
it's so disappointing. Like
Mm.
crazy.
Speaking of disappointing games, just before we wrap up, I was going
Yeah.
through my Xbox museum the other day, which is
Mm.
pretty cool. It shows you all your like achievements, like your first achievement and the first game you played, and all this stuff.
That's cute.
And in 2019, my most played game was Anthem.
Wow, what were you doing that year? Jesus.
Well, I
How long
played
did you
like
spend in it?
75 hours, 80 hours.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Also that year, I think I finished like 30 games, so I didn't spend any extended
Extra
period of
time,
in
yeah.
any other
Not
game.
like you had a Forza you were spending your days in or anything.
I mean, that came out the previous year, but obviously not
You were
playing it that
done.
much.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, I just hit 50 hours in Forza Horizon 5.
Nice.
Fuck, that game is so good.
It is really good.
So good. Endless amounts of content. But Kat, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap up this wonderful episode 48 of the podcast?
Yeah, I wanted to speak on one more game that, in a way, I guess I will not be finishing until the end of the year, like before the end of the year. But in the same way, I think I have, like, I'm pretty much finished with it because I did finish the game, but I didn't finish the game. And I just wanted to mention it because it is one of the games of the year nominees for some of the sections, and that's Returnal.
Yeah.
And the fact that it has, multiple endings, I just haven't got that true ending. And because I fucked up picking up one of the items, it'll take me like 2 more runs to do it. And I just don't want to do that. Because, I saw what the true ending is, and it's still the exact same game. There's just this tiny little difference.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like, I'm going to count that I finished that game within myself. I might pick it up later and actually do the final ending for that achievement. But I feel like, I've finished it. I'm just not hunting for that final piece. And, I think that game is fantastic. And I am shocked that it is featured so little in the Game Awards. Like, that game is so good.
I wonder if it's because it's hard.
Good.
Maybe fewer people played it.
Get over it. Like, it's really, really good. I saw it's nominated for Best Sound Design, I think is one of them. Forza's in there as well.
If it loses to Forza, I'm going to fucking burn
like
Jeff Billy's house down, because that sound design is...
I was looking at it and I was like, Forza sounds really good. And I know they did so much recording for all the different cars and all these sounds and whatever. But Returnal is phenomenal. That sound design is like unparalleled. I haven't heard anything better. So if it does lose, I'm going to lose my top. Like, it was like, it's so
Either
immersive.
One of us is going to go insane. It's going to be you if Returnal loses and if Forza loses. So if something else gets it and neither of those... we may not come back.
We'll just die.
50. We might be dead. Our heads may have exploded.
It just sounds so good. I've never heard something so immersive. The rain sounds in that game and just the weird sounds that you're hearing. All of it is just absolutely insane. So I really I'm disappointed and I'm sad that it is not featured as heavily as I would like, because I really, really do think it's like one of the best games that's come out this year. So I think it should be in more places. So I really hope it wins that. I really hope so.
Very good. Very good.
That's my final thought.
And like, it's, there's actually not that many games that I've started this year that I haven't finished. But by the time we get to like our game discussions, I think it's fine to talk about games that you haven't finished as your favorite games of the year, that kind of thing. Like, there's no rules.
I absolutely do. Well, like an argument can be made in the same way that I haven't finished Returnal. Like, a lot of reviewers don't finish the games that they're playing, like before they pen a review, or like if you don't get 100% on achievements, you haven't finished a game, sort of thing. Like I finished that game. I got to the end. You can just get to the end multiple times, and it's the same end. So like, there's no difference. I mean, there is, but there's no difference, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
Steve also jumps onto that, saying, not to be that guy and slam on myself, but the board is made up of journos, so they definitely weighed each nomination with accessibility in mind. And I think that's something to remember, is like, if you look at this board, it's like, there's IGN, there's so many people that work there, and I think they kind of pull all their answers together and then decide the most popular from those answers. And there's like so many people to choose from. So a lot of people may not have played Returnal. A lot of people may, I know they're working at IGN or something like that, but they may not have a PlayStation 5 or,
something about like that just really frustrates me, that's the way that it's done, because where's the encompassing, like, it just doesn't sit right. Like, you're leaving the hands of gaming in a very select few that a lot of gamers often disagree with. That's the hard part. Like, so many people so often disagree with what reviewers are saying. Oh, well.
And I think that's like, and I think we'll talk about this more next week in our predictions video, but like, that's part of the problem with the Game Awards. It's because, like, I don't know, it has become the de facto like awards, right?
Yeah.
But like, it doesn't mean anything. But I mean, it means something to the studios who may win.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it actually does have weight there. But like, it's so annoying because, like, just because, like, for me, like, Forza Horizon 5 isn't nominated for Game of the Year, and I think it deserves to be, but also know that it doesn't affect my enjoyment of that game. It doesn't affect my love for that game. Like, what won last year? Shit, I can't even remember what.
I'll look it up.
Fucking hell.
Was it The Last of Us?
Oh yeah, it was Last of Us Part 2. Yeah, and it was that lady behind the window.
Oh my god, so funny.
Never forget. Never forget. But like, I didn't play that game, but like, I'm not gonna kill someone because my favorite game of the year didn't get nominated, or Jedi Fallen Order was my favorite game in 2019, it doesn't matter, but it wasn't even nominated. I know, and it does. That's the frustrating thing, because there's no other
outlet.
There's no other like thing analogous to that in the gaming industry, where it's like, and I know there's golden joysticks, but they're not like televised, and there's no hoo-ha about it. And again, we will talk about this next week when we discuss the Game Awards much further. But like,
I was wicked
really
sad
just
that
like
Tsushima didn't get it last year. I was wicked sad.
It just ends up being a 3-hour fucking wank fest about world premieres.
Oh yeah,
and like,
for sure.
They throw the fucking best music fucking award in the pre-show,
don't
which
get me
no one
started.
cares about. So,
you know what though? You know what? If this game doesn't win this award that I'm about to tell you about, I really will lose my top. Forget about Returnal and Best Sound Design. If Elden Ring doesn't win the most anticipated game again, they got to win 2 years in a row. If they don't win, I'm gonna die. That's my most anticipated game. My chest will explode. Like, I'm burning for that game. Like, I feel it in my bones.
Gurning, more like it.
Yeah, right in my sternum. God, I'm so excited.
Gurning in the sternum.
And then it's got to win Game of the Year next year.
Yeah. God, it's
Just
going to be a loaded 2022. That's for sure.
oh yeah, it's gonna be up against some rough
Starfield,
competition. Like woof, but I'm so
Horizon,
excited.
Redfall,
Ragnarok?
hopefully. Oh my God. Is that coming next year?
Is that next
Fuck.
year? It's
That's going to
really
be,
interesting
like, I know we
because
keep saying that, but like, holy shit. The more time I think about how many games are coming next year, the more my brain
yeah,
hurts.
it makes me
I'm going to
think.
be scrambling.
I was thinking about this just previous to this podcast recording about how like there's so many games that I already am excited and thinking about for Game of the Year for next year, but nothing this year that's I think on that same level, even though there's obviously our favorites for this year. It's a completely different playing field.
Yeah. This year is the COVID delay year.
Yeah.
Next year is the games that are all being delayed because
Yeah.
of COVID the first time.
Next year's the
And they're
heavy
all
hitters.
the big boys, like, especially if, like, hopefully Halo is amazing campaign,
Hopefully.
and that will be in
Even though it will be
discussion
a
for next year.
2021 game.
Yeah, I know. And that's another annoying thing about Jeff Keighley and his
Dang it, Jeff,
stupid
we
Game
love you,
Awards.
but
It's
we
like,
hate you.
come on, man. Like,
The year's not over, you fucker.
yeah, have it at the start of January.
Put it in January. God.
But like, if that makes such an impact, it potentially will be up there in those games. And like, just thinking, hypothetically, like Elden Ring, Halo, Horizon
Ragnarok.
Forbidden West, God of War Ragnarok, Starfield.
Yeah.
I don't know what. Like,
there's one more game that you can put in there. What's the other game? That's the top list already. We're done.
Imagine if, like, I don't know, Fable comes out next year, which I don't think it will, but like, I don't know.
There'll be another one we've been waiting on that's coming out next year.
I mean,
one
Redfall, like Redfall could be up there. Deathloop's up there.
Yeah.
In a lot of things. So Redfall very much could be. There's something else that I'm not thinking of that's like a heavy hitter again. I know there is. Stalker could be like fucking next level.
Oh, Breath of the Wild 2 comes out next year.
That'll win.
That'll
win because it's Nintendo, though.
Yeah, Nintendo will win.
Yeah, Fable.
I mean, there's a ton. You know what else is coming out next year that I hate, but I'm a Bloodborne cut. That's the one. The one that I hate, but like I'd really like to like it, but I won't like it because I don't like the IP. Hogwarts Legacy is coming out next year. A lot of people are really excited for that.
Yeah, I'm
like,
not
there's
excited
so many
for that either.
Big games. Like, wow. It's going to be
Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad.
Ghostwire Tokyo.
Fuck!
Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Oh my God.
Marvel's Midnight Suns is coming out.
I think that got delayed, but holy shit.
Oh, it's gonna be fucking. Stranger of Paradise, the Final Fantasy fucking Souls-like. I'm excited for that. I don't think that's gonna make it that high because a lot of people already weren't impressed, but I'll like it.
As long as Chaos is there. The Gunk, the Gunk comes out next month, 16th, I believe. Could be cool. On Game Pass. Well, look, that's a lot to think about. Fucking hell.
Keep that on your mind.
Ghostwire Tokyo looks amazing. That could be one of those like sleeper.
Next year is like, gonna fucking bop. Like, dude, woo!
How I might have to quit my job.
Look, I would love to.
Could you people all subscribe to the podcast?
Please, can you fund our wish to play more video games? We'll bring you more content as a reward.
Oh my God.
Like, that'll be the whole thing. I'll play more videos and you can watch more videos.
Atomic Heart.
Oh my God.
You're saying that game looks fucking bad.
Fucking Pokemon Arceus or whatever is coming out. It looks like trash, but people are going to love the shit out of that.
It's probably going to win Game of the Year. Fuck.
It's a big one.
I better say goodbye to any game I didn't finish this year.
Yeah.
Essentially. By the sound
Deathloop? Sorry, you're in the backlog forever.
It'll come to Game Pass at the end of next year. I'll play it in 2024.
I'm going to have to create a schedule. I'm going to have to like pull a calendar up and start.
I think we're going to have to, create a shared calendar where we put all the game releases.
Yeah.
And
Then I can add to the calendar when I finished it and be like, Kat finished this game here. Elliot finished it here. Fucking slow bitch. You finished it after me.
Damn it. Shit. Even in make-believe world. All right. Well, speaking of playing video games, where can people find you playing video games and talking to people and having a great time?
You can find me at twitch.tv/CapCat. It's right below me and it's right up there. I'll give you a little bit of a signage. There we go. Lovely.
Lovely.
I am concerned that we won't be finishing Dark Souls 3 before Elden Ring.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it's getting so close, and because Christmas is coming up, we're going to take some weeks off, obviously, because people are going to be doing things. And we're not even in the second phase of the game yet. Haven't even killed the 4th Lord of Cinder. We're up to him, but what are we doing? Whatever. I've still solidified from playing that Dark Souls 3 is my least favorite of the Souls games.
Okay.
So, nothing has changed. But we will continue to try and finish that before Elden Ring. Otherwise, you can find me playing Kena, playing Death's Door, playing Inscription until the end of the year. Those are my 2 plays. And we'll see what else we can squeeze in.
Very nice.
But see me there.
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/CapCat.
And if you are listening to this version of the show, you can subscribe. You can pay us a little bit of money, throw us a couple of coins to help us make the show better. If you are on Anchor or if you're on Spotify, click that subscribe button.
Sorry, you guys know how this is really important. I promise it's really important. You guys know how McDonald's took away their loose change menu? They did that so that you can use your loose change on us. That's what
that is marketing
is supporting us.
Thanks, McDonald's.
Thanks, McDonald's. Definitely sponsored by Mackies. 100% real sponsorship here. No lies at all.
So use your loose change. And look, if you're in America, it's like $2. Probably less because our exchange rate's poo. But if you would like to support us, we will be releasing straight after every live stream. We'll be releasing the audio version for 24 hours for subscribers only, and then for everybody else,
the public viewing.
And we'll be doing a monthly podcast as well. But look, like I said at the start of the show, if you don't and you can't and you just want to watch it for free,
change,
that is fine. Look, I don't keep cash on me.
Neither.
So
I personally have no loose change.
Exactly. And
that's such a sad comment by Laz, but it's so true.
Laz. That's what they make per hour in the US. Well, fuck. It's a month worth of content, okay? But if you can't do that, look,
we still love you.
We still love you. Follow us on Twitter @ControllersPod. Subscribe to the video version of the podcast and all of the other content that I create and that we'll be creating in 2022. It's going to be very exciting. Follow us over at ControllersPod. Follow me on Twitter @DirectGaming. Follow Kat @CapCatty. And thank you so much for joining us. Next week, episode 49, we are ramping up for some exciting end of the year goodness. And I'm fucking so excited. I'm so excited, Kat, just so you know.
I'm really excited too.
Next week,
I can't wait to talk music.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to be, like I've alluded to already, talking about the Game Awards and maybe some predictions. But we're going to be talking about music from video games, our favorite music from this year's video games. And it is going to be a banger of an episode. So please check it out live. I'm going to make sure it actually sounds good during the week, so it isn't a terrible audio experience for everybody. And it's going to be so much fun. And then the following week is our 50th episode of the show. And we want to celebrate it with all of you. So please make sure you subscribe to youtube.com/directgaming so you can enjoy all the fun live. And Steve says, we might make $7 an hour, but at least we don't have a healthcare. Wait, those are both bad. Oh,
no.
Damn, dude. Damn. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry,
Steve,
for you.
I've said it many times. Just move to Australia. You know.
Just head on
we'll sort you
down,
out.
down under. It's not a fake place.
Don't-
We're here.
Like allude though. Fuck. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for your amazing support. As always, I love you all very much. And thank you, Kat, for being with me on the show.
You're welcome.
Enjoy the rest of your evening, day, morning, everybody. And we'll talk to you again next week. Peace out.
Bye.